We're counting down the 10 essential facts every traveler aged 50 and over needs to know about the new EU entry and exit system. From the legal changes setting the timeline in motion to the tips and tech that make crossing the border smoother, each entry tackles one crucial step, from your first arrival to making sure your data stays secure. Whether you're curious about replacing passport stamps or want to know what happens if the system goes down, this list prepares you for every scenario, ending with the ultimate confidence booster for senior travelers. Which change matters most, and how does the countdown begin? Let's start with number 10. In the 10th place, EU Regulation 2017/2226 sets the official timeline for the entry-exit system. Adopted in 2017, this regulation marks the beginning of a new era in European border management, replacing manual passport stamping with a digital registration process for non-EU travelers. The phased rollout starts in October 2025, with full activation scheduled for April 2026 across all Schengen external borders. This legal framework coordinates closely with the introduction of ETIAS, the European Travel Information and Authorization System, which will also become mandatory for many travelers in 2026. For anyone planning trips to Europe, these dates are essential. From October 2025 onward, every arrival and departure will be tracked electronically, and by April 2026, the system will be fully operational at airports, ports, and land crossings. The regulation provides a clear calendar, giving travelers a reliable reference point for upcoming changes and ensuring plenty of time to prepare for the new procedures. Number 9. The EU-LISA Central Database marks the end of manual passport stamping for travelers entering or leaving the Schengen area. Operated by EU-LISA, the European Union's agency for large-scale IT systems. This digital register automatically records every entry and exit for non-EU citizens. Instead of an ink stamp, each crossing is logged in real time, creating a secure electronic trail of travel dates and locations. This system works across all Schengen external borders, airports, ports, and land crossings, ensuring that every movement is tracked with precision. The database is designed to prevent overstays and to simplify checks for border officers, replacing the old, error-prone manual process with a reliable digital record. For travelers, the most visible change is the disappearance of the familiar passport stamp, replaced by a seamless electronic log maintained behind the scenes. With this shift, border control becomes more consistent and transparent, laying the groundwork for the new era of digital border management across Europe. 8th place. The Schengen 90/180-day rule determines exactly who is affected by the new entry-exit system. If you are a citizen of the UK, the United States, Canada, Australia, or any other country whose travelers do not need a visa for short stays, this rule applies directly to you. The Schengen area allows non-EU, non-EEA, and non-Swiss nationals to visit for up to 90 days within any rolling 180-day period. Once EES is active, every entry and exit will be tracked electronically to enforce this limit, replacing the old system of manual passport stamps. EU, EEA, and Swiss citizens are exempt from these checks, so the new procedures focus entirely on visitors from outside these groups. For travelers over 50, this means your trips to Europe will now be recorded automatically, and staying beyond the allowed 90 days could result in fines or future travel bans. Knowing whether you fall under this rule is the first step in preparing for the new digital border process. Number 7. Lisbon Airport's EES kiosk process offers a clear example of what first-time enrollment looks like for travelers arriving in the Schengen area. After landing, signs direct you to the entry/exit system self-service kiosks, where staff are present to assist if needed. The process begins by selecting your preferred language on the touchscreen, then placing your passport face down on the scanner. Animated instructions guide you through positioning, and officers are ready to help if you're unsure about the chip orientation. Next, the kiosk prompts you to look at the camera for a facial photograph. You may be asked to remove glasses or hats and to hold still until a green check appears. The fingerprint step follows. First your right hand's 4 fingers, then the left, and finally both thumbs. The scanner provides audio and visual cues, and officers can assist if dry skin or mobility issues make scanning difficult. Once your biometric data is captured, the kiosk displays your details for confirmation. After reviewing, a printed slip is issued. This slip, together with your passport, is handed to the border officer at the booth for final verification. The entire process, based on pilot data from Lisbon, typically takes 3 to 5 minutes for first-time users. This methodical approach replaces the old manual stamp, giving travelers a straightforward path through the new digital border system. Number 6. The ETIAS online portal acts as the essential pre-travel checkpoint for non-EU visitors heading to the Schengen area. Before boarding a flight or ferry, travelers from countries such as the UK, United States, Canada, and Australia will need to apply online for ETIAS, short for the European Travel Information and Authorization System. This digital application asks for basic personal details, passport information, travel plans, and a small fee, typically under €10. Most approvals arrive within minutes, but travelers are advised to apply at least several days before departure to avoid last-minute surprises. Once granted, ETS authorization is valid for 3 years or until your passport expires, whichever comes first. This means frequent travelers can use the same approval for multiple trips, as long as the passport remains valid. While ETS screens travelers before they even reach the border, it works alongside the entry-exit system, which records your actual arrivals and departures. Unlike EES, there is no biometric data collection or in-person process for ETIAS. Everything happens online before you pack your bags. For travelers over 50, understanding this sequence is key. ETIAS comes first, clearing you to board, and EES takes over once you arrive at the border. This dual system is designed to make European travel both safer and more predictable, reducing the risk of being turned away at check-in or after landing. Number 5. The Travel to Europe app brings preparation into the palm of your hand, turning pre-trip anxiety into a series of simple, actionable steps. Designed with senior travelers in mind, this official mobile tool prompts you to check your passport's biometric chip in advance, reducing the risk of surprises at the border. The app includes a fingertip reminder, encouraging users to moisturize hands before travel, a small but effective step that can make fingerprint scanning at EES kiosks smoother, especially for mature skin. Push notifications offer real-time updates on wait times at major airports and border crossings, letting you adjust your schedule or arrival time accordingly. A built-in checklist covers everything from confirming ETIAS approval to packing your travel documents in an easy-to-reach pocket. For those uncertain about digital technology, the app's interface uses large text, clear icons, and step-by-step guidance, making it accessible for all comfort levels. By completing these checks at home, travelers can approach the new border procedures with confidence, knowing that each requirement has been addressed before leaving for the airport. The app's practical focus sets it apart, turning preparation into a routine rather than a source of stress. Number 4. Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport brings personal support to the heart of the entry and exit system experience, especially for travelers with mobility or vision challenges. Upon arrival, trained staff are stationed near EES kiosks, ready to guide passengers through each step of the process. For those who find screens difficult to read, officers can activate high-contrast displays and increase text size, making instructions clearer. Audio prompts are available at most kiosks, offering spoken guidance in multiple languages, while seating is provided nearby for anyone who needs to rest before or after biometric capture. If using the kiosk is not possible, travelers are directed to a manual processing lane, where officers handle passport scanning and biometric checks at a comfortable pace. Staff receive ongoing training in empathetic communication, ensuring that questions are answered patiently and privacy is respected throughout. This approach reflects a commitment to accessibility, offering reassurance that no traveler is left to navigate new technology alone. At CDG, the human touch remains central, turning a potentially stressful procedure into a supportive and manageable experience. Coming to the top 3, the February 2024 opinion from the European Data Protection Supervisor brings privacy concerns about the entry-exit system to the forefront. The EDPS, as the EU's independent privacy watchdog, scrutinized how EES will handle travelers' biometric data, specifically fingerprints and facial photographs collected at the border. One of the main issues raised is the long-term storage of this sensitive information in a central EU database. The EDPS cautions that keeping biometric records for up to 3 years, or until a passport expires, increases the risk of unauthorized access or use beyond border control purposes. This so-called function creep, where data collected for one reason is gradually used for others, remains a real worry for privacy advocates, particularly when it comes to law enforcement or counterterrorism access. For travelers over 50, the ability to correct or delete records in case of mistakes is another concern. The EDPS highlighted that if a fingerprint scan is misread or a photo is linked to the wrong passport, the process for fixing these errors is not always clear or straightforward. Privacy groups have echoed these points, urging the EU to provide transparent instructions at border points and to ensure that all travelers know their rights regarding data correction and deletion. In response, EU authorities have promised that access to biometric data will be tightly restricted, with only authorized personnel able to view or use the information, and that all use will be logged and monitored. This ongoing debate has prompted calls for clearer passenger information at every step of the border process. For anyone concerned about how their personal data is handled, the EDPS opinion serves as a reminder to stay informed and to ask questions if something feels unclear. Knowing your rights around data storage, correction, and access can help you travel with greater confidence as EES becomes part of every European journey. Number 2. The Slovenia-Croatia border crossing during the phased rollout of the entry-exit system offers a clear example of how technical delays can impact travel plans, especially for those over 50. On busy summer weekends, travelers arriving at this land border sometimes encounter longer queues than expected, as the new biometric registration process takes time to complete for each visitor. While the EES is designed for efficiency, early months of operation have seen periods where processing slows due to high volumes or technical troubleshooting. During these times, border officers are trained to revert to manual passport checks, ensuring that movement across the border continues even if the digital system is temporarily unavailable. For travelers, patience becomes essential. Reports from local authorities and traveler interviews highlight that, when delays occur, staff provide water and seating where possible and maintain clear communication about expected wait times. Some coach tour groups have adapted by carrying extra snacks and encouraging travelers to use restrooms before reaching the checkpoint. The key is to remain calm and prepared. Bringing a book, having a bottle of water, and keeping travel documents easily accessible can make the wait more manageable. If officers need to switch from digital to manual checks, the process may feel slower, but it is a planned fallback, not a sign of system failure. Experienced travelers advise allowing extra time for border crossings during the EES transition, especially at land borders like Slovenia, Croatia. Knowing that staff are trained to handle these situations and that manual processing is always available can help reduce anxiety on travel day. For anyone feeling uncertain, asking officers for updates or assistance is encouraged. With these practical strategies, even the busiest border can be navigated with confidence, turning a potential source of stress into a manageable part of the journey. And finally, in first place, the travel industry's adaptation stands out as a source of steady confidence for those navigating the new entry and exit system. Tour companies known for serving mature travelers, such as Saga and Road Scholar, have responded to EES by doubling down on clear guidance, practical preparation, and visible support throughout the journey. Their approach is simple but effective. Representatives are present at key airports and border crossings, ready to answer questions, explain each step of the process, and reassure travelers who may feel uneasy about biometric kiosks or digital records. Staff members are trained to walk travelers through the EES sequence, from passport scanning to fingerprint capture, offering gentle reminders and patient demonstrations when needed. For group departures, pre-trip briefings now include senior-friendly checklists, confirming that passports are biometric, moisturizing hands before travel, and keeping documents within easy reach. Travelers are encouraged to arrive early and to ask for help without hesitation. This hands-on approach is reinforced by positive feedback from those who have experienced it firsthand. As one traveler put it, "I was nervous about the new machines, but our group leader explained everything and even stood with us at the kiosk. It made all the difference." Another described the relief of having a familiar face at the border, saying, "Knowing someone was there to help meant I could relax and focus on enjoying my trip." Once the initial EES registration is complete, subsequent crossings become noticeably faster. Repeat travelers often report that checks take less than a minute, with the system recognizing their stored data and requiring only a quick fingerprint or photo. This efficiency, combined with ongoing support from tour representatives, has led to a measurable increase in traveler confidence. Internal surveys from major operators show that over 80% of senior travelers now feel prepared for EES procedures, up from less than half before the rollout began. The final checklist for a smooth crossing is straightforward. Ensure your passport is valid and biometric, keep your hands clean and moisturized, pack documents in an accessible spot, and don't hesitate to seek assistance. For those traveling with group tours, take advantage of the guidance and support on offer. And for every journey, remember the words of a seasoned traveler. With a little preparation and a helpful guide, the border is just another step on the way to adventure. The new system may be digital, but the reassurance of human support remains as important as ever. From the foundational EU regulations setting the timeline to the surprising real-world challenges, like the Slovenia-Croatia outage, this countdown has mapped every crucial step of the new entry-exit system for travelers aged 50 and up. The most striking entries revealed how technology will replace passport stamps with biometrics and how privacy and technical hiccups, like an 11-hour border shutdown, can still impact your journey. Across all 10 entries, a clear pattern emerged. The shift is not just about machines and data, but about making travel smoother, safer, and more accessible, especially for those who may need extra support. Items ranked highest were those that turned anxiety into confidence, like industry-led border assist programs, while foundational laws and background systems anchored the lower spots. Ultimately, this list shows that while the EES is a major change, preparation, reliable support, and clear information transform it from a source of worry into a manageable part of modern European travel.